Hello everyone, welcome to GB Bricks. In today's video I'm going to be doing part 2 of my building a sweet shop series. This is where I'm creating a mock of a sweet shop. It's a shop that I encountered on holiday in the north of England, and in part 1 we looked at the proof of concept, we looked at the pictures of the actual shop itself and the inspiration behind this build, and we looked at some of the techniques that I was going to try to use in the build. In today's video we're going to build that ground floor, being the actual sweet shop itself, with the stairs going up to what will ultimately be a flat above the shop. So what does my building look like so far? Well, let me show you. So here is my pick a brick order from lego.com. There it is. Now I won't show you all the bits, but I do just want to highlight a few pieces before we start. I'm sure you can see the vast majority of it is just basic brick pieces anyway, in the reddish brown colour that I'll need for the vast majority of the sweet shop. And there's some tan pieces in there, namely the windows and the candlestick pieces that will make for decoration on the windows themselves. But we'll open it up and have a quick look at some of the pieces, and then the next time you see me we'd have started the build. Okay, so here's the bag opened and poured out. What I've done is I just had a quick sort through the pieces and put a bunch of the most relevant pieces here, or not most relevant, but to avoid repetition, I've just picked a selection of each part out and I'll explain how they're going to be used. Now some of this isn't for this particular project, there are a few other pieces in there. I'll go through those very quickly if you're interested, just to give you an idea of some other bits and bobs that I've got going on. So the first is these two pieces here. Hopefully you can see those. They're like the curved 1x1s, kind of a 1.5 by 1 almost. And the reason I got these is because I bought a Ninjago set on eBay. I actually did an eBay haul video that I've not released yet because I made other videos after that that were kind of more time dependent. So I haven't actually released that video yet. But the set that I bought was much cheaper because it didn't include the 10-year anniversary Lloyd figure that should have come with it. So I managed to pick that up again on eBay for a fraction of the price, and all I needed was to build the stand that he stands on to complete the set. I had all the pieces including the 10th anniversary printed piece. The only pieces I didn't have were these two to make that stand up, and actually, so I tell a lie, it was those two and it was two of these little 1x1 studs. Can you see that? My finger's in the way, sorry. In green, owing to him obviously being the green ninja. I might well have had these, to be honest. It's just they were so small. For the sake of a few p, I just ordered them to make sure, and I can actually make that now. So these two pieces I already had. The green studs go either side of it, like so. Then the other pieces I've just ordered go on here, on there, on there. And then that plaque printed piece goes on the front, and then the minifigure himself stands on there. So that's one little project finished. That's lovely. A few other pieces then. I got some of these orange leaves because at some point, and it won't be anytime soon, I want to build modular versions of both Michael Myers' Halloween's house and Freddy Krueger's, was it 1428 Elm? They're projects that are, you know, on the horizon, but way away off. But certainly for the Michael Myers home, these orange leaves will be perfect to create that autumnal Halloween style surrounding for the house to reside in. A couple more very quickly then. This red seat was for my daughter. She's got the night bus, the more recent night bus they've done. I say more recent, I mean it's a good few years old now. But that's hers broke and she was missing one of the red seats. So I got that for her. By the same token, my son had a minifigure called Rapton from Lego Ninjago and he lost his hair. So I ordered him another one of those. Bloody kids, they cost me a bundle. This part here, this is for a modification that I've made to one of my Ninjago mechs, which is Zane's Titan mech. Lovely build, really great mech that one, but the one thing I didn't like about it personally were the gold elements it had, like the gold highlights on the model itself. I know the Titan range, the gold is a part of it, I appreciate that, but just for Zane's mech himself, owing to him being metallic, I quite liked having the silver instead, so I've swapped out all the gold. The only piece left I couldn't do without ordering it was this sword piece that attaches to one of his arms, or the mech's arms, so that will be for that. I ordered a couple of these bits, so the big Lego sign and a few of these kind of faux Lego boxes, the printed tiles, another one there, because at some point I will make a Lego shop, and they will come in very handy for that. This was actually going to be my next Lego project, and I moved on from it. This head is because I'm going to make a diorama at some point focusing on Mortal Kombat, and I'm going to do a scene from the first game where you've got Shang Tsung in his older form sitting on his throne with two fighters battling it out. It'll be Liu Kang and someone else, and I think it's the scene or the level where you have like the monks sitting like kneeling as everyone's fighting, and I thought this face with one of the large white beard pieces I already have will be very good for the Shang Tsung figure. Okay, sorry about that, hopefully that was okay and you found that at least remotely, slightly enjoyable. But now we'll look at this MOC in particular. So the main piece, or the bulk of the piece in here, there are 100 of the reddish brown masonry bricks. I had enough of these, more than enough of these, to do the model in medium nougat, owing to the fact they're always on the pick and build wall, but I don't want all my models to be the same colour, and I wanted this one to be this colour. I mentioned it in my first video. I just think it has a nice sweet shop feel to it, kind of reminds me of cookies, or like Christmas cake, that sort of thing. So I thought that would be a nice one. Chocolate of course as well, to make the model in, and there are 100 of these. Now generally when I use masonry bricks in buildings, I use them quite sparingly as extra detailing, perhaps showing parts of the brickwork where the plastering has broken away and it's starting to wear a bit, or to accentuate a design on the front. But for this model, I'm going to build the vast majority of the front in masonry, so it's going to have that masonry design all the way across. First time I've done that, so I'll be interested to see how it turns out. But that's where there. To complement that, a host of bricks in that same colour. 1x6, 1x3, 1x2, 1x4, 1x8. So there's a whole host of those. There'll be obviously the main parts of the build, of course. The door frame is for the doorway up to the flat, so I have got one for the shop itself in this teal colour, but I didn't have a smaller one for that other doorway. So the main door is one of the kind of two doors frames, if it's two doors in, two smaller doors. So I needed one to be an access point up to the front door to let you into the flat. There'll be stairs, so you'll go through this door, there'll be stairs, and then there'll be another front door into the flat. And to go with that is the door. That will go with it. Again, I don't always have the same colour frame as door, because it can look quite samey, but sometimes when you're building a model, not when you are, certainly when I am, I like to get the imperfections of buildings where not everything looks perfect and not everything is a perfect world. Not everything is aesthetically pleasing. Someone's painted the door frame the same colour they've painted the door, So I just thought for this one it would be quite fitting to do that. And by the same token, the main windows for the shop itself, the sweet shop, so I've got 21 of these, and they're in light tan, I think it's called brick yellow or sand yellow officially by Lego. But the reason I got these and didn't get them in white is because on the building itself someone had painted the magnolia. It didn't look particularly nice. I don't think magnolia is a colour that looks very nice. Personally, it looks kind of like the white has just yellowed over time, but that's the colour of the building, so that's what I'm going to replicate. So there's 21 of those. Now for the upstairs, for the actual house, I am going to use white, and I'm going to use these, which I don't normally use. I normally use the glass, or obviously the plastic, but replicating or representing glass. But for this one, again, so that I have some variety in my buildings I'm going to use that design. And if you did see my previous video where I looked at the proof of concept and design stage, you'll see that I used a number of pieces like these hooks, these bricks with the clip on them, these skeleton arms here, and these brackets, both upwards facing and downwards facing. Sorry, it's stuck under my finger. There we go. Sorry. To be able to create a windowsill and a set of bricks above the window using a variety of different coloured tiles and plates, which will go along to make that up. In fact, it's just occurred to me I still have it here. So this, and the reason I needed the other parts I showed you is to stop the window from falling out, because doing this means it doesn't align here and means you can't actually stick the window in place. So yeah, so now I have the pieces to create this in the correct colours. Some candlesticks and some clips in tan, as well as these here, and they will create decoration on the shop windows. They'll run alongside the windows, and some dark orange 2x plates to create shelves inside the shop itself. I also ordered some of these bricks and the black, these black parts here, to try and create a drain pipe going down the side of the building on the left, but I've never tried that before, not sure if it will work. Thought I'd give it a try. Finally, for the building itself, you have these parts here for the awning. So you've got aqua and earth blue for the awning itself, and then the same two colours to create kind of the drop down part using these teeth pieces. There you go. I'm sure you get the idea. To create the awning. What do we have? Just a few more pieces then. These will be items for the shop itself, including this nice chocolate piece, some bubble gum, etc. And there was, I can't find it, it's in here somewhere, I ordered one, a new piece, I think it's from a Lego Friends set, which is meant to be like a granola bar. And I thought that was brilliant, and I was going to order a bunch of them, but then looked at it properly, and it's designed in such a way that it looks like the sweet or the bar has been opened. So it's not really much use when you're wanting to use it in a shop. So I only ordered one, with the idea being that I'll have someone walking out of the shop with one in their hand as if they've just bought it. But yeah, if they'd have been closed and sealed, that would have been great. I'd have bought a few of those. But yeah, that's the bulk of it. And next time you see me, we'll be starting to build. So let's have another quick look at the proof of concept that we studied last time. You know, the basic idea, just laying a few bricks down to get an idea of scale and that sort of thing. Here it is. This is what it looked like. And here we are now. So here it is from that initial design stage and the proof of concepts up until the first floor being pretty much finished. There are a couple of minor details I still need to add. I mean, one of those you can see straight away is that I have run out of dark grey tiles to finish that front off. Ultimately, I'm not going to have this. I'm at the minute kind of a slave to the details of the modulars, being a dark grey pavement with the light grey finish and then the lamppost. I will do all that on here, but it's not something that I'm going to have ultimately when I make a city of my own. I'll go for more cobbled streets to represent the type of buildings that I build. Now this is the sweet shop ground floor then, so you can see the windows that we looked at in the proof of concepts are now all in that light tan colour. So in terms of how it all works, you have the shop itself, of course, and we'll look inside there in a moment. There's a little sneak peek. This here is the front door to the flat upstairs, and I have tiled that off in there, and again we'll look at that properly in a moment. I went for a door with a window in it, but I used an opalescent piece, I'm not sure if you can see that, which is meant to represent frosted glass, which I felt was appropriate on a kind of a front door leading up into someone's home. So aside from that, a few things that I've never done before. The The first of those is build a proper awning, which is here of course. I'll just tilt that slightly so you can see it. Using the sloped pieces with those teeth pieces underneath. There we go. To complete the look of the awning, with a white plate in there just to separate it out, and that's tied in to the building itself, so that's pretty sturdy. These could fall off the teeth, but in terms of the awning itself, that's not bad at all. Another thing that I've never done before and never attempted before is a drain pipe, which is here. Now this part has worked pretty well so far. I'm quite pleased with that. Not sure if you can see that. There we go. So it's just used, or created rather, by using clips into the building itself, reddish brown 1x2 bricks with clips in, and then using a number of pieces to try and give the effect of a drain pipe. The difficult part, just move that back, sorry. The difficult part will be continuing this all the way up and trying to make sure that each new layer stops where it should in terms of the drain pipe. You know, you can see here that it's pretty much flush with the top of the building, just over, but it's nothing that's going to be an issue. In fact, I think I can even move that down a tad anyway, but it's making sure, there we go, it's making sure that that is the case on every level, and that's going to be difficult because obviously these are not necessarily going to be the size I need them. So what I'm going to do is get some 1x4, they're almost like lightsaber pieces in black, and there are also like 1x3 ones as well. So between these and those two, hopefully the maths will work out and I'll be able to use or recreate the drain pipe and have that go all the way up to the top. Let's give you a proper look at the front there then, with the just below that awning. So I've used some of the candlestick pieces here to just give it a bit of detailing, and there is some depth to the building in terms of the window just jutting out a bit before the door itself is a little bit further back. What I would love to do ultimately, I don't know if it's going to be possible, is to get some custom stickers printed here to really give it the look of the building that inspired it. I mean, there are stickers that you can probably get from things like Lego Friends that will say candy store or something like that, but as I mentioned in a previous video, you know, in this series, this is a very ye olde English sweet shop, and we don't say candy over here, we do say sweets, and yeah, we don't really say store either, so that those stickers won't work for my building. So I might well get something custom made to go here, and this is where the writing would have gone, and there'd be one more up here at some point as well. Let's take you inside the shop now then. So here's the counter, there's the till, so the workers will stand here. On the till itself you've got a couple of bits here. You've got some of the printed chewing gum, bubble gum tiles meant to be on some sort of stand, and then these here I think are actually Harry Potter windows from the micro scale Hogwarts that they did, but they just looked like chocolate bars enough for me to get away with it, I think, so I put them on there. If I take you around back to this side of the shop here, then you've got a nice selection of different bits and bobs there. You've got some chocolate cakes or some chocolate of some description. You've got a whole bunch of little, I don't know, sweeties and whatnot just here. They are just a different variety, or a large variety of different tiles that they are from. The bags of Lego, was it Dots? It was called Dots, wasn't it? Lego Dots that came out a few years back, and I used to pick those up. They dropped in price dramatically, and they're only a couple of pound each, if that. So whenever I saw any of those, I picked those up, thinking at some point they'll be useful for something, without really knowing what. And for something like this, where you just want a bit of colour, a splash of colour on the side, and for your eye to see, you know, colourful small packages or whatever, and interpret it as whatever it is that the shop is selling. And I think they do a good job of looking like sweets. And over there again, I've got some, they could be cans or anything like that. But again, using some of those Lego Dots pieces on top, just to give it a bit of majesty. You've got some popcorn on the shelf above, and what's that, limes there as well, something lime related. Just a couple of pots. And then again, I just ordered a few different tiles. It's hard to see because of the shadow above, so I do apologise. But just again, for a bit of uniformity in terms of that being obviously a shelf of something. You've got some grey and white striped ones here, and then these here, I don't know if you can see, they're like rainbow coloured, which I thought was nice. And again, these I think all came out of, if not Dots, then if not the Dots bags, then you could also get They were basically base plates that came with a whole bunch of pieces, and you could make writing on the base plates. There were tiles and bricks and whatnot, and I've just used a few of those again as whatever they need to be really. If we look at the front, so I wanted to put something in the windows, and again it's very similar in terms of just being small, one by one rounded tiles, variety of different ones there. I think that one there, that red and black one, was actually from a Lego Marvel CMF. It was the spare one you got with it from one of the characters, and the same again on that window there, just to give that impression. As I mentioned, there are some bits that do go inside the shop that I've taken out for a moment just to create a bit more space, and I'll put those in a minute and show you. Now that whole back here, so these are jars of sweets. This is like a big massive pick a mix part which the original shop did have. I'll flash a picture of it up, and I've used the rounded cylinder pieces in transparent colours with these small pieces here on top. I do have one to hand, albeit it's black, not transparent as they are. If I show you here, hopefully you can see that. There we go. So they've just been turned upside down to act as the jars tops, basically the tops of the jars like that, and in that transparent colour. I think that works quite well. But yeah, so the vast majority are the transparent colour, and I had what I had left I used to finish it off. But I'll be honest, every time I look at it, I'm not happy with these coloured tops, so I am gonna order some transparent ones to finish that off. I just think these couple of rows here look so much nicer than these ones here do. I think the transparent tops actually stop the transparent colour of the cylinder from becoming too dark. If you look at these ones here, they look very dark because they got the black tops on, whereas the ones below don't. So I think for the sake of aesthetics, I'm going to buy some more and finish that off properly. And I'm also likewise going to finish that shelf off with a few more cylinders that are on order. But yeah, basically to build that, if I show you the back of the building, I put some dark orange, what would that be, 2x6, 2x8, 2x6 it looks like, into the wall, and that just allowed to create the look of a shelf. And then I just built on top of that, and I think that's a very good effect actually. Now this wall here that separates the shop from the stairs that go up to the flat above, initially I had that in sand green. I had enough pieces to finish it off in sand green, but then I remembered I had these profile bricks, 1x4 profile bricks in this colour. It's lavender, I believe. And I thought, I'm never ever going to get a chance to use that colour again. Like, when would I use that lavender colour? So I've used it as part of the sweet shop wall, and I think that looks really nice actually. I think that works quite well. Now in the bits that just fell out, or still falling out as I speak, so we have these which are just branch pieces here that are just meant to represent some sort of chocolatey snack, and they go on the till there. I still dropped it. And these here are hot dog sausages, and I thought that they would work well as, what do you call it, like licorice, you know, strawberry laces, that sort of thing. So yeah, I stuck those in a pot on the till for the kids to pick up and buy. So yeah, I thought that works quite well. Another couple of little bits. This wand again looks like some sort of you know, long stick full of Smarties or something that you could buy. I don't know. I don't eat enough sweets to to have any sort of idea anymore. But yeah, I just thought it filled out the till nicely. And finally, this here, if I take this off, which sits just in front of the till, I don't know if anyone's going to know what that is, but it's meant to represent, like, you know, you get the tubs near tills in shops that are for charity, and you know, it's got a little bit on the top, the coin slot, and people get their change. You get a couple of pence that they don't want to put in their purse or their wallet, whatever, so they put it in the charity pot. So that was meant to represent that. I don't know how good a job I've done of showing that, or how good a job I've done of it representing what it's meant to be, but yeah, just with a few studs, I thought I'd try and again create something that, if not completely accurate or obvious, just gives the impression of what it's meant to be. Let's look at the final part then of this first floor, which is of course the stairway up to what will be a flat that someone will live in above the sweet shop, of course. So again, if I tilt that off, most of the stuff's falling out. Let me close that door as insurance against everything falling on the floor. There we go. So if it falls out, that's okay. So yeah, I've tiled it off in this blue colour because I had a few of those and I thought it was nice and different. And that's stairs just created by bricks. There's nothing special. There are a lot of bricks in here that you can't see, obviously, that just help to beef that up and make that nice and secure so it's not going to fall. But yeah, so they're just Lego 2x4 bricks that are there to create the stairs, tiled off of course, and then at the top there, as I hope you can see, again just using plates and tiles, just the illusion of a few more steps, one plate or one stud there, sorry, for a minifigure to be put on. And then what will happen when the second floor is created, sorry, there we go, the door, the front door to the flat will be here, so there will be a hole in the second floor if that makes sense, and that should, the theory is, slot on nicely, allowing this to have access so that if you were to walk up the stairs, the front door would be here and you would then walk into the flat. So the flat itself, in terms of footprint, will stretch from this part here, again that's not focusing, sorry, this part here across to here. So finally, let me just show you the couple of bits that go inside the shop, and I'll put those in the shop and show you in a moment. So this is just a stand to go in the shop. It will be in the window, or just, you know, the other side of the window. It's meant to represent a spinning stand that you get in shops with some lollipops on the top. And these are the frogs. You know, the frogs that you get, the Lego frogs, in a variety of bright colours. There's got green, yellow, pink, oranges, etc. And they're just meant to be whatever you want that's sweet related. They could be bags of jelly babies, jelly beans, whatever you want really. They could be jelly frogs, I don't care. But yeah, that's just to give a pop of colour to the shop, and I'll put that in a moment. And finally, we have a shelf here which has again a variety of different bits and bobs on it. So it's got some chocolate at the top there. Again, these are Lego dots, some bubble gum, Lego dots, just to look like sweet packets of sweets. You've got the cake toppings, again, which can be marshmallows, anything like that. And then you've got the ingot pieces, which I had a bunch of in colours that I'd never really use anywhere else. And I thought, again, they could just be packets of sweets or chocolate bars, all down the bottom there, displayed in piles. So I'll put those in now. There you have it. I think that's, again, as I said a minute ago, just adds a nice pop of colour. It populates the shop enough that I think it looks full without being complete overkill. So there you have it. There is part one, the ground floor of my MOC build. I'm actually pretty chuffed with this, I must say. It's exactly how I pictured it in my head. I'm happy with the colours. I really do enjoy the brickwork. I think it looks nice. The drain pipe. The shop itself, I think it's got some lovely little details in there, and I really do like the colour scheme. So yeah, very happy with this one. Do let me know down below what you think of my MOC so far. Let me know of any MOCs that you are creating. What are you building right now? Stick it all in the comments section. Do consider subscribing if you've enjoyed this video. Part one is available. I'll put a card up in the top right hand corner if I haven't done so already during this video. There are other playlists down there and available for things such as hauls, MOC building, other MOCs that I've created, although I am in the process of showing those. I've only got one of them up so far, and top 10s of various themes and talking points for Lego. So yeah, consider subscribing or give some of my content a watch. It'd be much appreciated. Until next time though, take care and happy building.